ओम शन्नो मित्रः संवरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इंद्रो बृहस्पति शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु मामवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कश्यस्विद्धनम्। Respected Yoga Guru and Chief Guest of Arya Mahasammelan, Swami Ramdev Ji Maharaj, esteemed Vedic scholars and learned speakers, organizers and all the office bearers of Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, America, and all participants, Namaste to everyone. I feel deeply honored that I have been invited in 30th Arya Mahasammelan, which is organized by Sabha Online. I congratulate Sri Vishrut Ji, President, and Sri Bhunesh Khoshla Ji, General Secretary, and the Chief Patron and the founder of the Sabha, Mr. Girish Khoshla Ji, Vanprasth. This Arya Mahasammelan will give the chance to Aryajan living in America, Canada, and in other countries to take the benefit of listening learned scholars of Arya Samaj. Today, the topic of my lecture is Vedic view of Atma, consciousness. According to Vedic philosophy, there exists three categories of eternal self-caused entities. One is God, the second is soul, and third is Prakriti, matter, the material cause of the universe. This eternal trinity is the basis of the creation. The trinity consists of two things, conscious and unconscious. God and soul are conscious, and Prakriti, the material cause of universe, is unconscious or dead inert matter. God is one and souls are innumerous in number. Being dead inert matter, the Prakriti cannot do anything by itself. Vedic Trinity explains that God is an eternal, conscious, formless, and all-pervading entity, who is the efficient cause of the universe and the support of all. The benevolent Supreme is Satchidananda Swarup. It means there are three qualities in God: plenary existence, Sat, plenary intelligence, Chit, and plenary blissful, Ananda. It is personified in God. Countless creations and innumerable souls resides in all these things, resides in God, and God himself resides in all these things. There is no place left vacant in the universe where there is non-existence of Supreme God. Second thing is soul, the Atma. It is an infinitesimal entity and said to be 10,000 times subtler than the tip of the hair. The soul is so subtle that it is not to be seen with any apparatus or instrument. The innumerous numbers of souls that exist in universe are one of the three eternal entities. The soul is a different entity from omnipresent God and the Prakriti. Here, I want to mention specially that this is an important point to be borne in mind that the souls are not the parts, portions, divisions, parcels, and pieces of God. God is an omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent entity. Hence, he cannot be divided into two or infinite pieces. He is Nirvikar, means without any defect. He is one and absolute. The soul or Atma is an existence and conscious entity. They are innumerous in numbers. Human beings cannot count the exact numbers of souls because of limited knowledge. Souls are limited. There cannot be increment or decrement in the number of souls. As the souls are beginningless and endless, hence they are eternal in the state of emancipation. It is called the soul or the spirit. And when the soul lives in a functional body, it is called the living being, Jiva, Jivatma, or self. All these names are of the same thing, but with different names, with different states. The soul is recognized by the attributes, or you may say lingas. Those are pleasure, sukh, sorrow, dukh, desire, ichha, envy, dvesh, activity, prayatan, consciousness, jnana. Besides these, there are more attributes like inspiration and expiration. Nictitation means closing and opening the eyes. Organic growth, discernment, memory, individuality, movement, regulation of senses, internal changes, and disorder, such as hunger and thirst, joy and sorrow, etc. These qualities distinguish soul from God. Maharshi Dayanand Saraswati ji, in 9th chapter or Samulas of Satyarth Prakash, the light of truth, has mentioned the innate powers of soul. Those are strength, energy, attraction, suggestion, motion, intimidation, analytic power, skill, courage, memory, discernment, desire, love, hatred, association, disassociation, dividing power, combining power, power of sight, hearing, touch, taste, smell, knowledge. By the help of these very powers, the soul attains and enjoys happiness even in emancipation. Emancipation of the soul consists in its exemption from all sin and suffering and in the enjoyment of perfect bliss in the all-pervading, all-blissful, infinite, omnipotent God. Soul is everlasting, imperishable, immortal, and eternal entity. In many Vedic mantras of Rigveda, soul is called immortal and it exists from the mortal body. No enemy can harm this soul, hence it can never be killed by anyone. There is a popular shloka in Srimad Bhagavad Gita in which Yogeshwar Krishna explains to Arjuna about the soul. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakaya na chainam kledyan tapo na soshyati marutah. This means that the soul is eternal, hence any weapon cannot cut it, fire cannot burn it, water cannot dissolve it, and the air cannot dry or evaporate it. Now, the question arises that where resides soul in the body? This is a main point about which we should know much more. The answer is the soul resides in Hridaya. It is said that the brain and the heart both have the same meaning, as Hridaya has 3 letters, Hri plus Da plus Ya. Hari means to bring, Da means to give, and Ya means to move. The thing that does all 3 works in the body is called Hridaya, which is nothing but the brain. Brain receives knowledge through the sensory nerves, supplies it to the soul, and inspires the karma indriyas, action organs, to act through the motor nerves. For this reason, the brain always moves on. It is described in the anatomy of Sushrut Samhita that the shape of the Hridaya is like a reverse lotus flower, which is open in state of awakening and closes in the state of sleeping. It is clear that Hridaya is not hurt, but it is the brain which is always active when we are awake and rests when we sleep. Strangely enough, everywhere in Ayurveda, the word Hridaya is used as the seat or place of mind, place of intellect, buddhi, center for sleep, consciousness, and similar faculties. Chark states, if the Hridaya is injured, unconsciousness occurs, and if it is destroyed, the limbs are paralyzed and death follows. Therefore, it can be assumed that most of the functions attributed to the Hridaya are functions of brain. The functions of the brain stated in various texts can be summarized as it is a place of Atma, the center of Chetana, consciousness, the seat of 5 senses, storehouse of Buddhi, intellect, the seat of Chitta, the storehouse of Smriti, memory, the center of Jeev, regulator of Nidra, the sleep, seat of Rajas, emotion and passion, Snayu Kendra, center of nervous system. So, we can understand that soul resides in brain, not in the heart. The soul at the time of death exists either from an eye or tip of the head or from any part of the body. Soul leaves the body with all its karanas, instruments. Now, concluding the topic, again I want to elaborate main points about Vedic view of Atma so that we may understand the detailed things about Atma, the soul. Number 1, the soul or Atma is one entity of Trinity. The soul is ekdeshi. It lives in one body, not everywhere. The soul is existence and conscious. It means Sat and Chit. 2 qualities are there in soul. The soul is separate from God and Prakriti. It is not a part, parcel, division, or piece of God. The soul resides in Hridaya, that is brain in the body. The soul comes again and again in body to consume the results of its deeds. आत्मा बार बार जन्म लेती है अपने किए हुए कर्मों का फल भोगने के लिए। ये कर्म योनि भी है और भोग योनि भी है। The soul can achieve salvation by Purusharth Chatushtaya. This is the main aim of a human being or the soul, that it should try to get emancipation or salvation by adopting this Purusharth Chatushtaya, Dharma, Artha, Kama or Moksha. Atma is infinitesimal entity. Atma is attracted towards bliss, Anand of God by its nature. So these are basic points concerned with this Atma, which I tried to put before you in these 15 minutes. You will get benefited or have some much more knowledge about Atma through this, you may say, short talk. I am thankful to all listeners and all organizers. Thank you and namaste to all.